So we are in continuation with SSRS technology course. The second topic is insert in detail. So let's create a fresh report to deal with the topic. So as part of this topic, insert in detail, I'll be covering all these 9 points. One is your text box, and the other is 3 different types of your reports, not in nature but in terms of formatting your structure of report. There are 3 types of reports. They are table, matrix and lists. So I'll be covering this, and besides this we'll be having header, footer and indications. And the 6th topic will not be covered in this particular video, and others are types of graphs like chart, pie and line will be covered. So let's kickstart. To infeed this report, I'll be using a data source. Okay, I'll be using a shared data source. And I'll be using a data set. I'll be using this shared data source for this, and I'll be using this query where I'll be just displaying full name, email address, gender, title, sales amount, product cost and employee photo. By just I'm joining dim employee and fact reseller sales. I'll do an OK. So the list of columns which I am trying to display in that query as prompt here. And now what I'll do is I'll go to this insert tab and show you what's text box. So text box is used for labeling purpose, similar to your HTML programming. You just provide some labels here. So I'm also doing the same thing. My insert in detail. Just change the color here, bold it, resize it. If you want to change the background color of this, you can also go here and you can explore here. So I have fill option here, no color. So instead of this, I'll be having a black. So that's it. So that's how I use my text box. So after this I can go with my table, which is my next topic, table report. So when I say table, let me brief something about this. So table is nothing but the reports which are viewed based on rows and columns is nothing but table report. And what is matrix report? Matrix report is nothing but you have 2x2, 4x4, 6x6 matrix formats. Similarly, you can create reports in such a way, or rather I would say x-axis, y-axis format. The reporting can be done in matrix. And coming to the list is something which is unstructured. So there will be no structure. It will be an empty space area where you can create whatever type of structure you want. So the first thing what usually people do is you have invoice format. So invoice format type of reports are being created in list, and besides that we have one thing in specific. So you want to display some employee name and his designation. You don't want to type each and every name, so just create a list and infeed the data to your list. Automatically when you preview the report in the same structure, the data the structure will be repeated and data will be changed. So it's like this. Yunus SSC, then Rashid MBA, SC, Hamid SSC. So this is how the report will pull the data and project. So it repeats and groups the data into the same structure. And it also supports the nested region. You can't create a nested table, you can't create a nested matrix, but you can create a nested list. So that is also a feature which is being supported by list. So without any further ado, let's work on table first. So here is my table. So I'll display my full name first, email address, gender, and sales amount. Just put here, it will automatically add a new column. Now we'll keep it in center. Just save this and fix the properties here. Just make it bold, change the font to 12 and change the color if you prefer something else, and that's pretty much it. Just save this and preview the report. You can see the report is being projected here. Insert in detail report. So now the second question is, what is your matrix report? So matrix report is nothing but just insert here, place this somewhere here, place this, move aside, move this side. Now, as I mentioned earlier, just if you want to display data in x-axis and y-axis format, you can use this matrix report. So what I want to do is, I want to place my sales amount as a data, and gender as my rows, and I want to keep something as title as well for columns. So I will keep like this. Now just save this and preview the data. You can see here gender, female, male, the European sales manager sales amount is this, North American sales manager sales amount is, since he is male, so his amount is this. So this is how you can project your reports. So this is the kind of requirement where you will be doing some it's like 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 3x5 matrix report. So that's how you prepare the reports for matrix purpose. The third type of report is list. Let's have a separate report for list, or rather let's continue with the same report. I'll remove this and get my list, but there are two ways to get that list here. So by clicking here you can get the list. Since my whole idea is to understand this insert in detail, otherwise you can also get this insert tab in your toolbox. So here you can see your toolbox. So a list, drag here, and you can see there is no structure for list. It's a plain paper. So it's your responsibility to create a organized report inside a plain workspace. So what I'll do is I'll drag a table here, and I'll also drag a text box and align it properly. Now what I want to do is I want to display full name, email address, and sales amount. Here I want to display my title. This is pretty okay. So if I preview, it should throw an error because this text box and this list of items are not correlated. I mean, they are not they are not set properly that they can show you the proper report. So we should do proper setting here. That can be achieved through row groups. So we are doing a group by over this particular column. So we are displaying all these items and grouping based on title. So how to do that? Just go and click on add group. Okay, just click here first. Click on this text box because we are grouping on text box. So go to group properties, add group, and it should be your title. Do an OK, save it and preview the data. You can see here European sales manager and his detail, sales representative, people from sales representative and their details, North American sales manager and their details. So I can group my data, and also I can create some unstructured reports. So there is no structure here, so I can define my own structure and define my own reports. So that's how list is helpful for you in formatting your own reports, for not a fixed report format. You can define your own reports. So our next topic is header and footer. So let's work on this. We'll have a new report instead. And I'll have a new data source. Maybe I can use a shared data source instead. I'll go with shared data source, but for dataset I'll have a new query. So let me get a table here, and let me populate customer first name and his email ID, and also his address. So I want to display this, since customer information in RDB will be in large volume, so it may change your page to page numbering. And if I preview here, so there is nothing like page number in your section anyway. So you can see here, so the data is going on. So it is huge data. We want to understand the page number. This formatting is for our developer purpose, but when client see the report, he need specification where exactly the number of this page is. So for that we should add a footer, and for title we should add a header. So I am trying to do that now. Page header, I'll have a text box in this, and I'll call it as customer information. Just select this and get it in center, and add some color to this. Make it bold, and text box just fill the color with this one. Yeah, so our header part is done. Now let's add a footer. So we got a page footer as well. So just get a text box here, insert a text box, and use the expression use an expression. I mean, create an expression such that as and when the page number when page is changed, the page number should reflect at bottom of the report. So how to do that? You have some built-in fields here, and here you have page number. Just click this here and add some naming convention. So it should display like a page number, the number which is being calculated through the built-in function. Save it and preview the report. So report is coming properly, but the page footer is not showing the proper page number. So there is some issue. What is the issue? The issue is this is a string type value, and we are not converting this particular numerical value to string. So let's convert that. So let's see conversion operations here. Yeah, we have a conversion function here, CSTR. So I'll use this function and save it and preview the report. So you can see this is page number 1. This is page 2, so on and so forth, and your header is consistent across the report. See, so I want to do one more thing here. Instead of having page number 1, page number 2, I want page number 1 out of 30, page number 2 out of 30. So that information I want, means number of pages, total number of pages, and the current page number. So how to do that? I'm doing this. We have a built-in fields here, so you can see page number, overall page numbers. That's it, right? So format number, overall page number. Just convert this to string as mentioned earlier. Use CSTR. It's showing me an error. It's not even prompting me that. Let me check this. Out of so this is a string getting converted and out of CSTR, and built-in functions, page number, total pages. So I'm using a wrong function here. Instead use total page number and do an OK. And when you come to the bottom, you can see here page number 1 out of 421 pages. So that's pretty much it, guys. In terms of header and footer, you can just add your heading which is consistent across all reports, and to footer you can add your page numbers. That's what header and footer is all about. So our next topic is indication or indicator. So I'll add an indicator by adding a column, new column here. Just add a new column towards right, and right click here and go to insert tab and add an indicator. In indicator you have different types of signs to indicate your business value, if it is doing good, average or bad. You can indicate in different symbols. So I'm using a traffic signal right now, and just to populate I can just use directly based on sales amount. What I want to do is I want to indicate if it's in red zone, green zone or yellow zone. So just preview this. See here, report is calculating based on some self assumption or default assumptions. So it is giving green to some, yellow to some and red to some. So how to check what exactly is happening? Just go to indicator properties, value and states. You can see here it's getting a sales amount, and based on percentage what it's doing is from range 0 to 33 it is considering red, and from 33 to 66 it's considering yellow, and so on and so forth. But in business requirement what I want is the sales amount percentage should be calculated, and if the range is from 0 to 10 it should be red. If range is from 10 to 12 it should be yellow, and if range is from 13 to 100 it should be green. So let's do that. How to do that? How to calculate the percentage? Just remove this formula and get your data set here. So you can see your list of columns what you are getting from your data set. Sales amount divided by sum of your sales amount into 100. This will give you a percentage. Where is that built-in function? So you can see an aggregator here, built-in functions. Yeah, it's not so yeah data sets. You can do sum of sales amount here as well. So instead of using this value sum of, use a data set sum of sales amount. Do it okay. So if you do excluding this dataset, it will throw you an error. That's why I am including dataset. So that is the standard you should be following. Here I'll be giving numeric, and I'll be ranging from, if the percentage value is 0 to 10 it should be red, and if it is from 11 to 12 it should be yellow. From 13 to 100 it should be green. I'm just giving it as okay, and I'll preview my report. So we should also display this value inside one column towards right. Let me get that formula from here. So and I'll add an expression here. So the percentage numerical value is 0.9 for 11, so it is considering as yellow. You can see here the output. If it is greater than, if the range is from 13 to 100, it will be green. Since the value is not there, so it is only red and yellow. So that's pretty much it, guys. You can add expression and calculate your own indicator instead of going by default, so that will give proper results. So we are done with indicator topics. So the next topic is sub reports. Sub reports will be covered in detail in type. Our next topic is charts. So the first topic inside chart is column chart. So let's start with that. Let me add a new report to start designing this. New item, report, chart. I'll have a data source here, shared data source, because I'll be connecting to AdventureWorks. So use shared data source. For dataset, I'll go with a new query, and I'll be using the shared data source which I have created. The query is I'm joining sales territory and fact internet sales, and just pulling sales territory, country, order quantity, and sales amount and tax. So let's do this. So we are good with this. Our dataset is ready. So let me get a chat here and drag this here. Now just click on this part. You'll get different categories which should be added. So what is the value you are summing here? That is your sales amount, and you want to group by these values against your territory, country, and just preview your report. Save and preview your report. So you can see, let me drag this report properly. It's not showing up. Yeah. So change this x-axis to country and y-axis to sales amount. Okay, now just preview your report. You can have a good look and feel. So in region of Australia, you can see it's around 100,000, 80 lakh, above 80 lakh sales amount, and Canada around 20 lakhs, and United States around more than 80 lakhs. So these guys, I mean this is the report which we are getting for sales against country. So just to improve the look and feel and understandability, so when you see, you don't get the exact number here. So I'm just doing I'm just counting the y-axis values and comparing the closer value with this bar column. So I want an accurate number, how much the sales amount is. To understand that, when you click on this, just right click on show data labels and save this. Besides this, add this, so the proper color coding will happen now. And preview, so you can see here, let me expand this, let me also rename this chat. Save this and preview the report. You can see the exact number of sales amount for Australia, similarly for other countries, so on and so forth. You have proper color coding for each country. So that's pretty much it on column chat. We have another two topics, pie chart and line chart in insert in detail. Our next topic is pie chart. So let's create a new report and properly name it as pie, and have a data source which is existing. So I'll be using shared data source, which will be connecting to AdventureWorks. And in datasets I am using similar query what I was using for column charts, and here I'll be using this query. The difference is I'm adding extra column, that is sales territory group. Copy this and do an OK. Now just do an insert. In shapes you have pie diagram here, so just once you place there, it's prompting you the name pie, and do an OK. Let me align this as per our required size, because the sales amount will be in decimal value, so the number may be scattered over the pie graph. So I'm just expanding my image as much as possible. Now when I click on this chat, it is prompting me the list of the values which has to be added. So I need sum of my sales amount, and it should be grouped by sales territory group. I'm good with this, and I want to rename this chat with sales amount over region. Just preview your report. It's not showing any values, but it is well prepared in terms of report. So you can see the blue region is Europe region, and the orange is North America, and the red is Pacific. So let's get the values on. Just click on this. I mentioned the same thing in chats as well. When you click on this, you'll get this circular white circles around your graph or chart. Just right click and click on show data labels. We are good with this as well. Now just preview the report. You can see the amount against the region. So Europe sales amount is this much, North America sales amount is this much. Now you want to see the series of your countries as well. So if my Europe, if consider if it is Pacific, then what is the sales amount in Australia. You want to see that level of details, so you can just add to your series the country name and save this and preview your report. So you can see here in Pacific Australia the sales amount is this, for North America the sales amount is this. So that's how the image nicely explains the data regarding the sales amount over the region. So that's pretty much it in terms of pie chart. Our next topic will be line chart. So let's create a new report and call this as line graph or line chart. So I'm covering only 3 types of charts. One is column or bar, second was pie, and third is line, because these are 3 major standards through which we showcase our reports. So I am adhering with only those 3 types. Otherwise we can explore more. Just create a data source here, and it should be a shared data source, and create a data set, and then just use the same query what you were using for pie and do it on OK. Expand this region and create some room for your line chart. Do an insert chat, and you have line graph here or line chart here. Just do an OK and expand your line chart. And rename your line chart name with sales over region. Save it and just do a click here. It will prompt you for setup. So my x-axis will be of some values, so sales sum. So I'm doing a sales, and my y-axis will be the country. I'm sorry, the y-axis is about sales amount, and the x-axis is related to my country. I'm saving this and I'll preview this report. So you can see we don't have absolute values here, but this graph clearly indicates that Canada and United Kingdom and United States has highest sales over other regions. So not Canada, sorry, Australia and United States has highest sales when compared to other region. So let me change this and mark it as sales amount, and I'll mark x-axis as region or country. And as mentioned earlier, just click on this graph. You'll get this circles, empty circles, and right click and it will show you show data labels. Now you can preview your report. It shows with values what is the sales amount for Canada, what is sales amount for Australia. So all this you can see. And also if you want to add cities as mentioned earlier, so blue is indicating Europe region, and North America has been indicated through orange, and Pacific is red. But let's do some so you can see you are labeling
against country and region is being displayed here. And also you can also do something like this as well. Remove this thing and change the chat itself. Now you want a different shape of chat, go with that. So this is line with markers. And save it and preview. So you can see the marker is available here. And also you can change it and explore with multiple options. Change chat and do this with 3D lining, and you can see this. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to do a line graph, just use a line chat and align your data accordingly. So that's what prompts you the output. Thanks for watching. That concludes our insert in detail. So I'll mark this video as completed, and we'll see more about rest of the topics. So shared data source set is already completed. We'll see parameterized reports and stuff in upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.